Thank you, everyone, for taking this terrible, horrible weather and walking uphill in the rain both ways to come to our board meeting at 3:30. And it's 3:32. I call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Ms. Metoyer?
Here.
Ms. Fleur?
Here.
Ms. Black? Ms. Yelsey?
Here.
Ms. Bartow?
Here.
Ms. Anderson? Ms. Snell?
Here.
Dr. Brown?
Here.
Alrighty. Is this the public comment, or does Martha read other public? There are no cards. Okay, so then I read out this. I read this. The following is the conference with legal counsel, existing litigation. The anticipated litigation is the International School for Science and Culture's request for district facilities. That's what we'll be discussing in closed. And thank you. So I will recess to close session. Even though recess makes it sound like it's way more fun. What?
I'll keep you on with the last.
Thank you. All righty. Do I bang the thing again? Woohoo. Oh, yeah. Such power. Thank you all for coming tonight. I don't know what the weather's like outside, but if it's raining, doubly thank you. It is? Yay, we're so lucky. I'm just getting where I'm supposed to be. Oh, that's right. There it is. Call the meeting to order. Opening ceremonies. Oh, the readout comes first. I have two readouts. I'm going to be spectacular by February. In the matter of student discipline case 181572, the Board of Education has decided to take no action at this time and will reconsider the matter at its February 12th meeting. And in closed session, the Board of Education took action to approve the resignation agreement and general release for number 201901HR. The roll call vote was as follows: 7 ayes, 0 noes, 0 abstentions, 0 absent. That gets passed down. And now we will rise for a moment of reflection and the salute to the flag by Lucy. Thank you so very much.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perfect. Right. We need to adopt the agenda.
Move adoption of the agenda with, I gotta find the right one. Want to remove an item from the agenda, which is the student.
I thought she said we're not taking no action.
Because we didn't get to it. It's the,
I just read it.
She just read it in.
The student discipline thing.
oh, okay.
So we don't have to do it.
All right, got it. Sorry, I didn't hear that one.
But Mrs. Bartow wanted to pull something for clarification on the consent calendar. Now is when to do it? Okay, fine. Then you'll tell me that later. Yeah, good. Mrs. Fleur moved to adopt the agenda. Is there a second?
Second. Mrs. Black.
Thank you. It was moved by Mrs. Fleur, seconded by Mrs. Black. All those in favor of adoption of the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Are those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Got it. All righty. Move adoption of the minutes of 12:11 and 12:13.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Fleur, seconded by Mrs. Black. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, 7-0 on both of those. Thank you. Now we have our student board member reports. Lucy.
Good evening. I'm Lucy Dimitrick, representing Early College High School. We just returned from winter break yesterday to our second semester. With the start of 2019, we are in the process of identifying our first semester Principal's Honor Roll recipients. For students who earned a 3.5 or higher unweighted GPA in all of high school and college courses taken, as well as recognizing our outstanding citizenship student recipients who received 3 or more outstanding citizenship marks at the end of the first semester. Along with the principal honor roll recipients, we will also be recognizing our academic rising star students who showed a 0.5 GPA increase from the last year to this first semester. Our students will be recognized with their accomplishments and certificates later this month. We just completed our shoe drive right before winter break, where we had over 700 pairs of shoes donated by our students, families, and community members. Our PTSA is also hosting the 4th of 6 financial literacy seminars conducted by the Wells Fargo Outreach Program this Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. in our MPR. This is open to all families in our school district, and the topic for this week is exploration options to pay for college. Later this month, we are beginning our tour at middle schools to do our presentations for the 8th graders who may be interested in applying for early college high school for the upcoming school year. Our application is available for download on our website, and we have also had hard copies delivered to the middle schools. The early decision application deadline is March 15th, with our regular application deadline set for May 3rd. And lastly, our school is getting ready and very excited for our upcoming winter formal, which this year is going to be a white tie affair. And it's going to be held at the Costa Mesa Country Club on February 9th. We're all very excited. And usually more than half of our student body attends this event, so it has become our largest off-campus event.
Wow, that sounds like fun. Thank you. Isaiah?
Good evening. So our school's Delta program, which is Math, Science, and Engineering, just decided to allow seniors onto our junior trip to San Francisco.
Oh, nice.
Which is actually a little cooler than it seems because our senior class of Delta members is so small that most trips wouldn't be financially feasible. So this is pretty cool, and I'm probably going to end up going on that. And our AP government and econ classes just switched, and we're all getting used to our new subjects. And in terms of athletics, our cheer team just won CIF, which we're super excited about. All of them are going to get posters actually in the gym. So we're excited about that. And tonight our girls' soccer team will be playing at Santa Ana High School. And just yesterday, our AP Environmental Science students gave presentations on current issues involving water conservation, like the California water fix and China's Three Gorges Dam, in order to highlight the contemporary nature of issues involving water today. And just yesterday, our choir students began practicing our solos, which is our final exam, and which leads into who is selected for solo night, which will be held on February 13th, and everyone here is invited to. And in terms of upcoming events, right now all of our students are slowly realizing that finals are coming up soon and that they'd better start studying. And secondly, tomorrow will be our high school wellness workshop, in which they're going to be teaching students about yoga in order to relieve physical and mental stress. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Isaiah. Raphael?
The first-year students of IB Literature, all of them juniors, have begun their individual oral presentations. These presentations are taking place all of January and are required in order to get IB credit for the course. These presentations vary on topic, and they're usually on books they have read the first semester of the class, and they range from 10 to 15 minutes. The finals week is coming up, which means that people are also studying like crazy. So our tutoring service is going to be open the week of finals from 12 to 4, so that students could come in and study there.
Bless you.
An athletic update, we have 2 Battle of the Bay games this Friday. Boys soccer and boys basketball. Boys soccer is at 5, boys basketball is at 7. And we also had our Winter Rally this past Friday, which was a great success. Everyone is really hyped about the formal. And the games and the videos were a great success. The crowd laughed, and everyone participated that was chosen. Our formal's coming up. It's going to be held in Knott's Berry Farm, and it's going to be on February 1st. And we're going to be giving a souvenir card with the map of Knott's and sections of the park that will be open. We also have private school tours happening this Thursday, which will be guided by ASB students who also came from private schools. And they're doing this to help them like transition from the private school life to the public school life. Some unique information that my friend told me about is that Newport Harbor DECA, the IB business management students join schools from all over Southern California to compete at the DECA SoCal Career Development Conference this weekend in Anaheim and earn some serious hardware. Newport Harbor's emerging leaders and entrepreneurs' problem-solving creativity was recognized, and students were called to the stage over and over and walked away with 23 gold, silver, bronze individual medals and 10 glass grand award trophies.
Wow, congratulations.
And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Alex.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex Ceremonies from CDM. And so something really cool that happened academically is our AP literature class just had to memorize our soliloquies for Hamlet. Okay. And so,
To be or not to be?
exactly, that was actually mine, 36 lines long. So, exactly.
Which is nobler than lots and lots of men.
So that was really cool, and it's just great to see how many like aspiring actors we have in our classes, even though they
Great.
might not say so. And then also our boys varsity basketball team this last Friday had their Pack the Gym night against Edison. And so essentially it's just like one of the boys basketball games that our ASB works to like especially like promote and hype up. And so it was so well attended that we actually filled up like both sides, the home and the away side, with just CDM fans. And so obviously that's really cool, and it was just a really great time overall. And then a recent event that happened at school was we had our annual holiday rally, and I actually saw Mrs. Yelsey there, and that was a nice treat. And so we got to see everyone ranging from the jazz band to winter sports, all performing together and like dancing. And then it also included both general ed and special ed students, and so I think that's always really cool. And so just like pretty much every other school, we're preparing for finals, and something that's pretty unique, I think, about Corona Del Mar is that the Sunday right before finals week, we have this thing called Finals Fiesta, where the teachers actually like sacrifice their Sunday nights to like come and teach us. And so personally, I don't know what they're thinking, but like I appreciate it when I can just go my Sunday night and get like those last minute study sessions in. So that's from 5 to 7. And then also we have food provided, so it's like you can have dinner and just get those last minute studies in. And then something unique is that our CDM Youth and Government program is preparing for their trip up to Fresno this weekend. And so it's like a major club on campus, and there's over 100 students that are a part of it, which is unheard of for pretty much any club, in my opinion. And so they're all just really excited because they get to mock like the kind of like the California legislature program. So they get to like write laws that will actually possibly get sent to the governor's office. So it's really cool. Thank you.
Very cool. Thank
Very
you.
cool.
Just making sure I don't see Jennifer or Van. Thank you very much. Mrs. Lake, Harbor Council PTA.
Good evening, President Matoye, board members, Dr. Navarro, cabinet, and guests. Okay, our membership update. As of January 5th, our total membership is 6,653 members. Wow. However, we did a membership analysis from this time last year, and we are down 5%, which I'm like, what's going on? I'm thinking we have 10 schools on the new totem program, and I'm going to hopefully meet with the other PTAs that are not on it to get them up and running, see what's going on, get them up and running. So we hope that will change and dramatically improve membership. So hold tight. Okay, and our parent education series, our 4th one is coming up Wednesday, January 23rd. It will be held at the theater at Ensign, at Estancia, from 6 to 7:30. The topic will be ways to support a healthy lifestyle for your child. And our Reflections program, I'm really excited about this. 4th District Reflections Art Gallery is Saturday, January 26th from 1 to 4 o'clock at the Orange County Department of Ed, Building D. This is an open house, and it's to recognize students whose entries were advanced. I'm happy to report that 3 of our students are advancing to California State.
Yay.
So they will be printed. It's top secret. They will be printed in the program. So really excited about that. And finally, Sacramento Safari, like I said last time, is February 25th and 26th. The theme this year is student health, mental and emotional well-being. And there's going to be a lot of speakers. There'll be a speaker from the National Alliance on Mental Illness, John Fensterwald and Louis Friedberg from EdSource, and they're going to be doing a podcast-style presentation on what to be aware of this year in respect to the newly elected Newsom and Thurmond. So that should be interesting. Rick Simpson, the guru of state funding of public education, will be there. Sherry Griffith, the executive director of CAPTA on Creative Arts Initiative, will be there. Celia Jaffe, and she is the president-elect of California State PTA, former 4th District president, and she's going to be my speaker next month at our Harbor Council meeting. I'm so excited.
Wonderful.
So also we have Anthony Portentino, and he will be the dinner keynote speaker, and he's the one who initiated the Late Start Bill, among other legislation bills. And we will also have Anthony Rendon, Patrick O'Donnell, and Cody Petrie Norris. So we have a full lot of people, and we hope to storm them, and I hope to get a lot of information to bring back for our PTAs, and it should be pretty exciting. So thank you.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to number 12, we have a report on our HVAC projects. Mr. Holcomb.
Yes, thank you, President Matoye. I'd like Ada Zarasny, our Director of Facilities Planning, Design, and Construction, will come up and give us an update on the projects.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, President Matoye, Board, Dr. Navarro, Cabinet, and our audience and guests. I'm Ada Zarasny. I'm the Director of Facilities, and I'm going to go over our current HVAC projects. So I'll try to go quickly and get through it, and then if you have any questions, of course, I'll answer the questions for you after. We're talking about the 2019 HVAC projects that your facilities department manages, the oversight of that, from design through construction. So here's a document that you should be familiar with seeing. We've had it on our website for quite a while now, and the different colors just indicate the different sequences. So from the top to bottom was the order that the board had decided that we would install or address air conditioning at each of the school sites. So the first section you'll see on top identifies the air conditioning projects that were completed over the summer of 2015. The second group, which includes early college high school was completed through the modernization project, so ran on a different schedule. It was a longer construction project, but you'll see that second group has Paularino, Sonora, and Adams that were all completed in 2016. The next group of projects let's see up there, it looks gray. On my screen, it looks kind of blue. Those all had air conditioning already. So that whole group here already had them. And then this last summer, we did this purple group here, which was 6 different school sites, and we packaged those projects together based on distance from each other for the contractors to complete. And currently, the group here without any notation here is the group we're working on, and the group below is a future project. So here's just a little closer, the school sites that we're working on now: Whittier Elementary School, Mariners, Newport Heights, Ensign, Newport L, Harborview, and Back Bay. So we're covering quite an area for us to get around to all those sites. So the project status, as you know, you've implemented a policy as to how we communicate with the schools, how we communicate with our community, so that we make sure that we get all of the input necessary. So this year, we got a jump start on this process. So everybody came back to school who had just received air conditioning projects. The new group was informed. As early as October 4th, we sent out a communication plan to all of the schools that I just showed you on the last slide, and basically said, here's how we're going to communicate with you. We're going to meet with you. We're going to meet with your PTA. We're going to meet with the board, and we set up the outline of how that communication was going to occur. We had a lot of positive feedback. We had a lot of participation at the schools in those meetings so far, and so it's been really good. Let's see here. I'll just give you a really quick overview of when some of those meetings had occurred. So of the 7 school sites, between October 12th and October 17th, we met with each principal and the facilities team. Just tell them what to expect and make sure that they were prepared to have their PTA and other groups, whether it was childcare on site, YMCA, CDC, any other tenants, make sure that they participated in the second meeting. Those meetings occurred late October and the first week of November. So we've been able to accomplish all of those meetings. And then the third meeting we had was really an internal meeting for all of the principals, maintenance and operations, all of the operations of the district. So we had transportation there. We had the warehouse there. We had IT there. We had nutrition services there. We had everybody in the room, so everybody was hearing the same story about what the schedule would be, how quickly they're going to have to get out of their rooms at the end of the school year and let us come in and do our work. So we had everybody on board. We also had Christy Flores from Davis come and speak to the group about some of her methods for communication with her teachers and some of the things she did. So the new principals who were going to have air conditioning would have Christy as a resource to ask questions, and so that went really well. So this is our next meeting that we were obligated to have, which was to present to you and let you know where we are in the process, and also have our budget updated now that we know exactly what the construction is going to consist of. Okay, so where we are with DSA, which for everybody here, DSA is the Division of State Architect. So most people are familiar with going through the city for approval of construction plans. We go through the state, and the entity we go through is Division of State Architect. So just to give everybody a background. So we have completed the design of all 7 projects. We are in the process of submitting. We've submitted 4 of the 7 projects, and all of them will be submitted to DSA by January 24th. So we are on target. We are pushing forward as fast as we can to get these DSA approved and get them out to bid. So what we've done is we've put the packages together for bidding like we've done in the past, grouping them by a location and also the value of the project, because our contractors need to be able to cover the cost of those projects. So we package them so that we make sure they can do that. So you can see here we're going to have 4 different packages. Ensign will be its own. It's a middle school. And just the location and the cost of it, we decided to put that one alone. Back Bay and Whittier will be together. Harbor View and Newport L, and then Mariners and Newport Heights. So we have 60 calendar days to do construction of 7 sites of air conditioning. So last summer we had three more days. We had 63 days. But one thing just to remember is that the construction isn't 100% complete on the first day of school. The schools are great about working with us to still allow contractors to be on site. The Raptor system has helped us with that process. So our contractors are all familiar with the fact that they have to come put their ID in, get a label or name tag, identify where they're there. So that's been really helping us get our projects completed. And the biggest reason why we're here is to have the budget updated. So far we've come to you and we have approved the projects, we've approved the sequence of the projects and the ones that were going to occur this summer. In addition to that, you have approved the design for the projects and have also approved the budget for DSA submission. So we're at the point now where we have drawings, we've estimated those drawings, and we know that the total project cost is going to be somewhere near $25.6 million.
Mrs. Black, did you have a question?
Yeah, on the consent, it breaks down those costs, on, it's 16A8. And I'm just curious, Newport Elementary is almost 5 million, significantly more than everyone else, and is there a reason for that?
Because of the nature of that school is a much older school. It has more historic character, and so the approach to that from a design standpoint is much more complicated than our other schools.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that, and that was my question is, are you having to work with the Historic Society or?
We haven't. So for us, Newport L is historic. It is not on any national registry. It is listed on the City of Newport Beach, like featured site, but it is not historical per any registry. However, we're very conscious of what we're doing with construction. So basically, we are utilizing a portion of the old bus garage to put equipment in so it's not visible. So we know all of our other schools, we've had to create little yards or pads for them. And Newport L, number one, we don't have the space to put it. Everything is a walkway. So we've had to, so we're going to be working with the site to clear out the bus garage. That's going to be fun. And get that cleared out, and we're going to take over a portion of that. What that means is we're going to be piping from the bus garage to all of the other buildings. So the main building especially. So the kindergarten yard, we're going to approach a little bit differently and won't be as much piping. And then the building, and I don't know the exact name of it, but the building closest to the boardwalk, there is the building comes up at an angle, the roof line, and then there's a section in between where we're actually able to put some units up there. And even though we know that our district doesn't like putting anything on the roof, this is a protected area. There is nowhere they can fall. So it works in this particular environment. The other thing that we're doing that's a little different at Ensign and Newport L is we are also, because we're not going to go in and put ductwork everywhere and piping everywhere, we're putting in fans. So they'll be able to have the fans distribute the air instead of have ductwork running all throughout the classrooms. So it'll be a nice feature for the schools. It lends itself to those two sites being where they are located in proximity to the ocean and breezes and opening windows. So there'll be a cost savings there for operations too.
Thank you for that.
Mrs.
Thank you.
Bartow.
So my question was for Newport Heights, and you kind of answered it. Was that site deemed inappropriate for fans? I know people at the school site had.
So that site already has some ductwork, and so we are reusing ductwork where we already have it. And so that school just lent itself to reusing ductwork and only extending it a little bit. And so we were trying to limit the number of schools that we had to put fans in. And Newport Heights, because of the architecture and the construction of it, allows us to do the ductwork there.
I know that the teachers at Newport L were thinking, we're right on the beach, they're never going to be able to do that. They're never going to be able to figure out a way. And when I said, oh no, you'll get it, they're so excited.
It'll be nice. You
when
really won't see it.
When it's one of those hot days and the air doesn't move anywhere, it doesn't move even right next to the beach. So
True.
But it's
That's
under
really-
one
They say that all the
roof, and
time.
that's the other.
yeah, there's so many weirdnesses about Newport L. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
That's
Any
a
other
lot of money.
We'll do our best to keep it down. We had a lot of success with this last year's projects with change orders. You'll see on the next board meeting our final change orders, and they were basically nothing. So it's just, we have to document it.
Excellent, excellent.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you so
Okay,
much.
I didn't say Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Flip, flip. And we are now at informational items.
Yes.
Mr. Dr. Navarro.
Yes, we have two informational items.
Oh, two
Okay, one from Mr. Lee Sung and one from Dr. Jocham. So, Dr. Jocham, would you mind starting us off?
Absolutely. It's Happy New Year. I would like to let everyone know that we are moving forward with putting up signage in all of the middle school and high school restrooms and also the counseling areas. And it's all, they look like this. They're suicide prevention signs, and they are, we hope, graffiti-proof. And they are, the nice thing is that they're in the school colors.
Oh.
So that was, I think, Phil's added contribution, right? Put them in the different colors. And what it does is it allows students to either text or contact a crisis hotline. And the crisis hotline connects them to a local crisis center, and it's 24/7. And the text just brings them to the National Crisis Center, where they have folks standing by 24/7 to respond to texts. So they will also be in Spanish, and our plan is to put them up in the next few weeks to make sure they're in there, and working with letting school site staff know. But we found that often it's students who, when they're anxious or depressed, or they have some feelings like this, they end up going into the bathroom and trying to hide, or just to escape. And so we thought that was a good place to put them. So we just wanted to let you know that that's coming up.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
All right, I have some very...
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold that thought.
sure.
I missed a light. Mrs. Fleur.
Yes, I just want to commend you. I did have a conversation because I thought, boy, those are really boring signs. I wanted something like that said, feeling depressed, doing something like, need help, we're here to help. But apparently, according to Phil, this is the national standard signage. So that's why we're going with the national standard. And so thank you for being very proactive.
Thank you. Mrs. Black.
Yeah, and I was going to do it in my report, but Dr. D'Agostino also, solicited help from our Student Advisory Committee, and they worked on it. And Lou, I know Lou, that his last name, I feel so embarrassed, but he's one of our staff members that worked in the sign department with our students. And so the students had a lot of feedback that helped in saying that they thought this was really a positive thing for them, and they were very supportive of it. And so I appreciate, all the help that they gave us as well. So we're definitely, it's been endorsed, by our own students, saying that they felt that this was a positive.
And it's nice to see a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
It's nice
No,
to
they
see
did,
that happen.
so.
Thank you.
And I'll figure out what Lou's last name is, and I feel really bad unless you know, because I think he needs to be commended. He was really wonderful with our students, very patient, came early. He's in our sign department. I know him as Lou, but.
Okay.
Tim, there's a Tim in this.
Tim.
Is it Tim or?
Tim is the sign guy.
Tim Labossiere is our.
Oh,
sign-
that's the last name that I couldn't pronounce, so, okay, sorry, Tim, yeah.
Okay.
Close to Lou.
Now,
Not close to Lou.
Mr. Sung.
Okay, I have some good news to share.
Good news
Okay,
is good.
good news.
So back in September, earlier this school year, there was an announcement that there was a competitive grant that was available for public school districts under Title IV. And Title IV, one main category is well-rounded education. And this money had to be distributed to school districts, so the state came up with this competitive grant under well-rounded education. We were given the opportunity to join in with other Orange County School District and our Orange County Department of Education to apply for this competitive grant. And we did. And the grant that we had applied for was with the objective to provide greater access to visual and performing arts to what is typically and traditionally underrepresented groups in those subject areas. And that would be special education students as well as alternative education students. So we did join in. We were very fortunate to get some great news before the holidays that we were awarded one of the largest grants in the state, definitely the largest grant in our region, and one of very few. We were awarded a $1.4 million grant. Don't get too excited, it's not all coming to Newport-Mesa,
Divided by,
but it
yeah.
is shared amongst the county, Orange County Office of Ed programs, as well as ourselves and 7 other districts. So total 9 different entities collaborating with this grant. And I've been going to some informational meetings along with Scott Fitzpatrick, who, as you can imagine, is thrilled. We have Carrie Adams working from the special ed perspective, and I've recruited Gabe Del Real in the ed division to assist us with that. But it is an absolute amazing thing. I will absolutely provide more information to the board on this, because as a former band director, this is something that is, we've never heard of something like this. So we're focusing on professional development for teachers, because one of the parameters of this grant is it has to be spent by September coming up. So we don't even have a year to spend this money. So the focus is on professional development for teachers. The professional development will take place on Saturdays and during the summer, because all school districts are fighting the battle of having enough subs and releasing teachers during the day. And there will be stipends attached to those teachers who complete the professional development. And there will be opportunities for some of our teachers who teach visual and performing arts, alternative ed teachers, alternative ed VAPA teachers, and special ed teachers. So we are finalizing as a group just an amazing website with all of this information and opportunities. And if teachers are interested, there's a process to sign up. We only have so many spots in each of these professional development opportunities, again, because we're sharing it with these other school districts and the Orange County Office of Ed. So very excited about it. I will provide more information, but you're going to start hearing information. I will share just one that I'm very excited about. It's called Orange County United Sound. Orange County United Sound. And the whole intent of that particular program is to have a special education teacher partner with a secondary instrumental teacher. And between the two of them, they work to provide access to a student with moderate severe disabilities to have access in an ensemble instrumental music class. Wow. And this grant will provide the training. Someone who has been doing this program across the country successfully, working with our teachers, working with our students who become mentors for the student that we're trying to build access to, and then culminating in a performance where the student can perform live with the ensemble. So that's just a taste of one example in this grant. So more to come, but wanted to share the good news.
Very exciting. Mrs. Flor.
Do you have the name of the other districts?
Off the top of my head, just trying to remember who was in the room, we have Garden Grove, Placentia Yorba Linda, Saddleback, Capistrano, La Habra, Santa Ana. Who am I missing? One more.
6.
Newport?
Us, Newport, Orange
Irvine?
County Department of Ed, and I'm missing one.
Irvine?
So I apologize.
Tustin?
Not
Huntington
Irvine.
Beach.
Oh, well. Mostly
I can provide that.
K-12.
I'm sorry.
That's great.
I was going to get my notes, but it was raining really hard.
Send it to us. That's fabulous.
That's exciting.
That is
Oh,
great.
wow. I like good news. Good news is super good. Mrs. Flor, will you read our community?
I will read that for you.
Oh, that's right, Mrs. Black. We moved over.
We're doing our action items. Okay, speaker cards for items on the discussion action calendar will be held. What is this? It's community input. Is it consent? I'm sorry.
You're reading the right thing.
It's okay.
You're reading the right
She
thing.
was reading the
You're
right,
on- you're on-
you're at the
you're
right
right.
one.
You're on the
I'm
right
on the
place.
right one.
Yeah, yep.
God, I hate that. We got so many teachers on this panel. Okay. So I'm going to go to, this is an opportunity for the public to address the board on action items. Consent calendar, resolution consent calendar, discussion action calendar, Per Board Policy 9323, each individual speaker will have 3 minutes. Speakers may not cede unused minutes to other speakers, and there is a maximum of 20 minutes of comments per item. I didn't know that. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public comments. Depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to speak, the board, staff, or members of the public may request that a specific item on consent be moved to discussion action. Requests to move consent items must be received prior to the time the board takes action on the consent calendar. All comments are recorded in full on the meeting video record. When addressing the board, it is helpful if you state your name and address for the record.
I have one question. Do we move things, this is for the consent calendar, do we move things before we take comments, or do we take comments and then move things?
It's always better what we've said is that we want to take comments before you move and
Okay.
approve everything, so that you should ask people if they want to speak now.
There, perfect. All right, Mr. Dowdy. Dr. Dowdy, I'm sorry. I just negated 4 years of a lot of hard work. Sorry about that. Gotta love that process of student loans.
So good evening, President Matoye, members of the board, Dr. Navarro, members of the community. I'm Britt Dowdy. I am the president of the Newport-Mesa Federation of Teachers. And part of this is a little bit of a process question, because I had a question related to the HVAC project, and I'm hoping that it can be answered by staff. I'm not asking for it to be moved from consent to discussion, so I defer to your judgment as to what's appropriate. But the question has come up regarding air conditioning in some of the public spaces, such as multi-purpose rooms at elementary schools, gymnasiums in some of the secondary schools, and the locker room spaces. And I know that our projects have not been adding air conditioning to those spaces. So the question that comes up is, what's the rationale why? I have heard in past projects it became cost prohibitive because it caused a change for the ADA compliance for that entire building when that got broken into. So if the question is able to be answered, that would be fabulous. And the rationale for asking is that some of those NPR spaces have been getting used for instructional space on a daily basis. I know that there are some being used this year. It's not every year, but we've had some that are being used for instructional space this year. And also on those hot days when we have physical education, especially with young kids, it would be great if we had a place that was air conditioned or protected from the Santa Ana winds and everything there for those young children, as well as for the secondary students. Thank you.
Madam
That's the
President,
next 25
if I
million.
could just give a quick response.
Absolutely, Dr. Navarro.
So Dr. Dowdy answered his own question. He's absolutely right. There are times when you open up a space and ADA requirements make it cost prohibitive. It's exactly what has happened with the the multipurpose rooms. The other problem is that you would have to upgrade and renovate all the kitchens. So you would have to expand the building. So not only would you have to put in new bathrooms and expand the building that way, you'd have to expand the building for the kitchens to bring them up to the current standards. And I'm going to ask Mr. Holcomb if I've given a complete enough answer or if he has any other information.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
And then
And the gyms?
Gyms are also needed to upgrade. So for example, I'll use Costa Mesa because I know that one so well. You cannot AC Costa Mesa because you're required to put in 2 elevators, one on each side of the gym so that people can get to the top floor wherever the seating is. So that's the reason we never renovated Costa Mesa High Gym, was because, and Kirk was there dealing with this as the AP, we would have to put in 2 separate elevators, and that made it cost prohibitive. We couldn't afford it with Measure A. We won't be able to afford it this time because we're funding our own AC projects.
And as far as absolutely, I understand that there's some music rooms that are now being held in the multipurpose rooms, and on those really hot days, I would like to think that they would accommodate, the principals would accommodate the music teacher into another room for that time, I'm hoping, as well as PE. I know that in any kind of inclement weather, PE always just came into my classroom. So if our classrooms have air, the PE could be in there. So hopefully we're making those accommodations without having to have a direct rule that forces it, but I'm sure
we still
student safety is the most.
We still have some challenges, but it's going to require more than the funding we have now. And so how do we do that? Well, you're either talking about borrowing money or going back out for a bond.
And we haven't used up the bond that we have.
We still have a lot of money we can't touch.
Exactly, Mrs. Snell.
Oh, I was just going to bring up the stages, too. We would have to change many of the NPRs. Almost all of them have stages, and we would have to change that as well, put a lift in. So that's quite expensive.
Sounds like
yeah.
we should just knock it down and
I think
start all
I
over.
think it costs less to knock the whole thing down.
But the good news
But we
is
don't
that
have that
theater-
much.
our theaters are air conditioned.
Our
Yes,
theaters
all of
are.
the theaters are
Our,
air-conditioned.
our new performing arts facilities
arts
are all
are-
up to date, ADA compliant.
Thank you, Dr. Dowdy. That brought a lot of good information. And we are now at the Superintendent's Report.
Yeah, no report today?
Consent calendar.
We have no other cards?
Miss-
Not for action items.
No, I have
Okay,
no other-
good.
Right.
Okay, so consent?
So I was going to pull the 16A8, but I had my question answered, so I'm fine.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're fine? Okay.
Well, that worked out well. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second?
So you don't want me reading that? Okay.
Do we not need to read it if we have no cards? Any more cards? Nope, you need to read it. Now that
Need to
I
read it.
brought that up.
I thought you already read it.
That's a different read. This is a different read.
Was I that boring, Mrs. Snell, that you just don't want to go through it again? I can have someone else read
I
it.
thought you read, this is an opportunity for the community
She
to
did, but it's
comment
down under-
on the consent calendar.
No.
But then the consent calendar, there's an explanation of what the consent
Oh,
calendar
about it's
is.
all under, okay, one vote. Okay, go ahead.
All,
You got my permission.
Oh, I'm so relieved.
all items listed under the consent calendar are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion. This includes the consent calendars for business, education services, human resources, student support services, and superintendent. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or the public request specific items to be discussed and/or removed from the consent calendar. Public requests of items to be discussed and/or removed should be submitted in writing prior to the board's consideration of the consent calendar.
Move to approve.
Mrs. Flor seconded it, but now has a question.
Yes, I do. And it's a comment and
Okay.
and a commendation to the facilities and Tim Holcomb is the item 16A7, which is the PQ bids for pre-qualification of prospective bidders. I think this is a great, great move, is to hire someone to take a look to make sure that, because so often we're getting bids and we're going out for bid and then they're not qualifying. In this way, at least my understanding is that this company will pre-qualify architectural firms, construction firms, et cetera, before we go out to bid, so we'll have a list.
It's really actually just construction firms, not architectural firms.
Okay.
But it is very helpful to us, and it is a requirement actually of the state funding program, such that any project that we submit to the state for state grant under the state program, they require that we do this pre-qualification process. So this process this firm allows us to do it very efficiently. They have a very developed process. They sell this as a service to lots of districts because it's a state funding requirement. And it allows, as you see, we have $17-ish million worth of construction that's going to be happening very quickly, and staff very busy managing those projects. So we've been using this firm for about a year now. And besides actually pre-qualifying, they also, by going through a firm that does this for lots of districts, it increases the exposure of our projects to the bidding community because they see these projects.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a question.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify, and I did read the contract. It says not to exceed $34,500. Is that for all 3 years, or is that per year? 'Cause I didn't get that. That was.
I believe it's all 3 years. I'd have to look at it to confirm
Okay.
Mrs. Snell?
Yes, I just wanted 16A1, I just had a little question, and that is, that's about ratifying the agreement for the aquatic design services for Estancia High School. Are we still on schedule? Because I thought we were going to start construction in January. So are
No.
we? No.
But we
Summer?
are, the answer is yes, we are on
Yes,
schedule.
okay, that-
No, we were not going to start construction in January. We are on track to start at the end of the school year
Mm-hmm.
with construction and to complete in early 2020, which is the schedule we have been communicating all along.
Early, like January? Is that where I got January?
We're working very hard to make
Okay.
it as early in 2020 as we possibly can.
Okay, so it's on schedule to start in the summer, and then, okay, so that would be
Actually,
2019.
and
So they would miss one season, essentially.
yeah, so, you know, these are big,
Oh, I know.
complicated
I know.
projects.
I
So
know. I'm just
we
wanna-
are aiming,
Okay.
and we are working with a site wherein they will need to probably vacate the existing pool, and we're working on arrangements with one of our other sites for the swim program to move there during this current school year. Actually, we're hoping to start demolition to maintain our schedule before the school year is out. That's what we're currently working through with the principal, Mr. Halt, and with the staff there. All of this is with the hope to have the pool ready before the swim season starts next spring, which actually starts in February of next spring. So that's what we're aiming for, what we're hoping for. But as you know, this is a very, very complicated project, and we've been working really hard to keep it on that schedule. And the promises that we've made to the school and to the community is that it will get done in that early part of the year next year. But that's our hope. That's what we're aiming for, and that's currently what we're on track for.
Okay.
So right now, water polo is the big sport that's.
So that's correct. Water polo. So the end of this year's swim season will need to occur at another school site, and then all of next fall's water polo season
Boys and
will
girls.
occur off-site. And then we're hoping to get the swim season in as the very first thing. But that's our goal, is to have their very first meets there.
You can't build it and use it at the same time.
That's exactly right.
We went through that once before. All right, it's been moved by Mrs. Yelsey, seconded by Mrs. Flor. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, moving right along. I've been practicing. Discussion action calendar. Mr. Holcomb. Oh, yes.
Mr. Holcomb, your microphone?
Thank you, Dr. Navarro. This is the agreement for the architect for the theater project at Estancia High School. Ms. Ceremonies is going to make her way up to the podium to give you a quick report on that. As you recall, we're really excited about this project because we were able to sell bonds last year to support the construction of this. And now we've gone through the process of interviewing architects, and we have a recommendation for you on an architect to hire for this project.
So just to get back to you on PQ bids, 34.5 is for the 3 years.
Oh, good.
Okay, so this is on the Estancia High School Theater Complex. Architect selection, as Mr. Holcomb was saying. Again, this project is managed by the Facilities Department, and I keep saying the Facilities Department because we get confused with maintenance and operations, and so I'm just trying to educate everybody. We are a little different. They fix everything, and we build things, so. So in order to hire an architect firm, we go through a very formal process, which we call the Request for Qualifications and Proposal process, known as the RFQP process. So this district in the past has done it in a variety of ways, and this time we specifically went out statewide and said, At the state level, we use CASH, which is Coalition for Adequate School Housing, to post our RFPQ in order to be able to have a wider spread, just like we were trying to do for our contractors in construction. So we went a step further and put out our RFP quite a while ago. We had a little delay because of the pool project. We did receive 11 proposals. And so once we receive those proposals, staff takes those in, and we have a formal process that we go through, and we evaluate each of those proposals. And so we're very specific about what we ask the architects to submit. So we go through and we rate each one of those sections. And so in this process, the facilities department did that, which, you have a small facilities department, but all of us evaluate the proposals independently. And then we sit and we talk about them, and we determine how many of those architects do we really feel is feasible to interview. We don't want to waste anyone's time. Architects put a lot of energy into preparing for those interviews, so we want to make sure that we're selecting the best and firms that we actually would consider. So we went through a rigorous process. We identified 5 firms. The group that interviewed the firms, we tried to reach out to other districts and have a VAPA representative participate. We weren't successful. We even rescheduled to have them participate, and they just weren't able to make it. But we did have the site participate, facilities, and the business office. So once we went through and we interviewed those firms, again, we have a set of questions that we ask them. We all evaluate, and then we basically sit in a room and argue about it a little bit. And so it's a very thorough process, and we don't take any of it lightly. We want to make sure that we're picking the right firm for the school site, and we know all of our schools have a variety of needs, and so that plays into who we select. So we went through that process. We identified a firm, and once we identified the firm, that doesn't mean you're going to get them to sign a contract. So we went through, we had them provide detailed proposals and negotiated with them to get them to the point that we were comfortable with and to sign a contract. So we've gone through that process now. We have a contract that we're presenting to you tonight for approval, and so that's what we're here to do. Just a little bit more, once you approve the contract, just to give you some next steps that are going to happen. We'll go through the design, and there's these typical steps that we go through, and some of them we can identify as specific timeframes, and then we all know DSA is the unknown. So I've identified here the very first step is programming and conceptual plan approval. And so that's really reevaluating what we identified as a school district, what our educational specifications are for theater programs, performing arts programs. And that's a document that we created back in 2010 with LPA. So the same document has been used to design all of our facilities, and that's the document that we will be utilizing again to reestablish what the program is at Estancia. That's going to be about a six-week process, and then you'll see here from that plan approval, let's just say it was 5 weeks that we actually got through program and conceptual plan, then that just means we're going to start the next phase sooner. So we can shorten these timeframes, but we've limited our contract to not allow the architect any more time. So schematic design, design development, and then construction documents are the documents that we actually submit to DSA. And they sit in DSA. DSA is getting better. We can't, keep saying that it's all DSA's fault anymore. They are getting better. They make appointments now. We make appointments 6 weeks in advance of submitting our drawings. And so they know they're coming, so they staff up for it. So they're getting much better. So we'll submit after the design process, and then we will go through our bidding process. And so one of those items, again, will be pre-qualifying our contractors. But the very first thing we'll do is establish with you the permission to advertise an award. So we typically come to you, we say we're going to go out, we're going to advertise this, but we don't want to have to wait to come back and tell you who we're going to hire. So you give us permission to award so we can get the contract going as soon as possible. So we'll advertise, we'll have a mandatory job walk. So we always want to make sure our contractors actually step foot on our sites before they bid something. So we have mandatory job walks, and then we'll open the bids. And as long as the contractor has responded completely to our bid request, then the next steps are to issue them a letter of intent to award, which means they need to sign all their documents and provide all the documents to us before we issue the notice to proceed. We'll issue the notice to proceed, and then we'll bring the final contract back to you for approval. Once it's approved, we'll start construction, and probably a year's worth of construction on this project, and then occupancy. So just one other thing I wanted to let you know is that we're already working with the school site. We have spoken to them. We have a standing meeting with them weekly for all of their projects at the site. They are working on putting their site committee together. So we've asked them to limit it to 3 or 4 people from the site to participate in the design process. We'll also be including Ryan White from the district to participate. He's gone through construction on all of our schools and has been an end user of all of the other projects, so he has a lot of lessons learned that we're going to implement into the process.
Wow. Mrs. Snell. I'm trying to remember the order the lights went on.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, no worries. So I was reading through their, I assume this is their proposal. Pfeiffer's proposal.
Pfeiffer Partners.
Pfeiffer.
Yes, I know, the spelling of it.
So a couple questions. So they talked about project administration and verification of existing facilities. So they've already done that, right? They've walked the facility, walked the Estancia with you, and
they did initial, so they had the opportunity to come to the site before proposing. They did an initial site visit, and since then they've made several. Today, again, we walked with them again. So the idea is to establish what of the program we're going to build is new construction versus renovation of existing spaces. And so we know we have a lot of program that already exists at Estancia, and so they've come out to go evaluate what spaces can be renovated to meet the program needs, and what is the mass that we're actually building new construction, and where does it go? So yes, they've done that.
And that was my other question. I noticed that it talked about renovation, and I thought this was a completely new standalone
I do too.
building.
One thing to remember is all of our projects have varied. So if you think about Costa Mesa High School, because they had separate music buildings, we renovated those. So we were able to add some square footage for storage, or music storage and instrumental storage, to bring it up to the ed spec and the program requirement, but we didn't have to build new square footage per se in its entirety. So we're going through the effort to analyze what are all the existing spaces, how could they be renovated to support the program, and if it works out once we go through that programming, what is actually required to be new construction based on where we put it. So if we have to if we were just, for argument's sake, put the theater out by the stadium, we would likely have to build all new. But if we're able to put it next to the existing drama programs, then we would renovate those spaces and have adjacency, but not necessarily all new.
So like the band room, say, or the choral room, or whatever. I know they have. Okay.
So number one, we'll bring them up to the standard if they can stay in place. If they don't, it doesn't make sense to keep them in place, then we'll look for either relocating them and switching what's existing to put them in proximity, or new if necessary. Trying to keep the project within budget.
On here, it also said schedule several go-to meetings, and it's all in caps. It just means they'll come to us, right?
No,
what does
go-to
that
is
mean?
literally online meetings. So with technology, even like with our DSA plans that we submit to DSA, we can actually sit in our office and do plan review with DSA. So it's just utilizing technology, so they don't necessarily have to drive here all the time. We utilize technology to have meetings.
Okay. And now I know you said this, and I think I was listening to her. Her computer went down. Oh, it's back up. But who is? I heard you say something about 3 or 4 site people. Who's in the group? There's going to be proposing a couple workshops to discuss the concepts. Where does the the drama teacher come in and
So I
yeah.
believe Michael Hall is asking the drama teacher to be on that committee or group design
Okay.
review team.
Okay.
He hasn't given me the names. I called several times. So we've been working towards getting people
Okay.
to commit to participating. So we'll ask, and
Okay.
whoever is willing to commit to it, but I know that he's asking the drama teacher
Right.
to participate, and whether or not it could even potentially end up being someone from another site who has been through our programming of our other schools and might be able to lend some information to operational issues.
Yeah, in addition to that would be fine in addition, but she even wanted to be on the architect interview panel. So I'm assuming that you couldn't make that work, so.
No, we didn't go to that level.
Okay, let me see, I do have some other things. You had a sign up, 8 weeks for schematic design, design development, construction. Okay, all of that is sequential. There's nothing that can be done at the same time. It's all.
Correct. The phases that I've identified here, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, those are my questions. Thank
Okay.
you.
Mrs. Fleur.
I have two. One is, can you tell us a little bit about this firm? It's a firm that I don't recognize in terms of all the time. So if you could tell us a little bit about the firm, some of their work that they've done in the past.
Sure. This is a firm that the district has not worked with previously, and Hvac Architects is a very, very old firm, and here in Los Angeles is where they've been headquartered, and they do a lot of theater work, and that's one of the reasons why. And they don't do tons of other K-12 work. They don't do a lot of classrooms and things like that. They're very known for their theater design. They do a lot of work for community college districts and higher education, university theater projects. And so that was one of the neat things about this project, was that by casting the net very broadly, we got 11 proposals. We got some proposals from some people who, and honestly, we asked them in the interview, we said, what made you think to propose on this when you had to imagine that there's lots of people who do lots of school work, who do school work for us? And they said, well, we appreciated that you had a very open mind about looking at theaters and expertise in theater design. And so this company does a lot of theater, has a lot of experience in theater design. I'm sorry we didn't bring with us the examples, but you could go to their website, or we can provide you some more examples of that. And some pretty amazing design work. One of the big concerns we went through was budget, because they do some really amazing theater design work, which can be very expensive. And so they, in our interviews, went through some projects where they had very, very tightly constrained budgets and had some very good solutions within those constrained budgets. So on the basis of all of that expertise and their approach to how to work as a team collaboratively, actually, as Ada mentioned before, oftentimes after an interview process, the team kind of debates the discussion, and in this case, everyone was confidently ranking this firm as the firm that we hoped we could negotiate an agreement with.
My second question has to do with, in the past, the schematic design or the design has been put forward to the board for comment.
It will be again.
And so that's it. And finally, the last comment is, I hope that in the future, when we are in the process of selecting architectural firms to do, that a board member sits on that committee. I found it fascinating when we were on the board for the Measure A and the Measure F projects. There was a board member that sat in on that interview committee, and so we're able to have the opportunity. I think it was Dana Black and myself were able to sit there and hear the presentations. We didn't, there was not a lot of, we didn't ask a lot of the questions, but we heard the presentations and we were able to join in on that conversation about selecting and how we felt that they would work with our communities. And so I hope that in the future, just like teachers or whoever the end user is that we also have that opportunity as well in the future. So
Appreciate.
Just want to
Appreciate that.
put that out there.
Mrs. Yelsey.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor who's involved in the schematic plans, but I just know from previous projects, especially Corona Del Mar, because I was pretty involved with that one, that some people felt they didn't have a say. I just want to make sure everybody who uses the theater in any capacity is involved. And my other comment would be, because of the experience from our other schools that we've done very recently, it might be helpful to have a representative from each of those schools give their input. I know every school is different what they want, but give their input of what worked for them or what they might have done differently. It would just give another perspective. So
we are considering having someone, at least somebody from one of the other schools, participate. So we'll work with Michael to see who that group ends up being, but I'm hearing it.
But if you're limiting it to 3, you won't be able to do it. And I think what I'm hearing is that we need, as a board, I would be more comfortable knowing that the people that just recently, within the last 10 years, built these buildings could offer their input to say something like, you really don't want to have this there. We missed out. I can't tell you how many times I hear from CDM at Costa Mesa, wow, Costa Mesa has a pit. We don't have anywhere to put our band. And that was their choice when they did it. But now that we've gotten 3 theaters built.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have more input.
Well, and again, the issue is making sure that all performing
facilities
genres are represented. Because if we hear one complaint from across all of them is that there's no sound, that there's no sound baffling, so that orchestras have horrible, can't have sound. Choirs don't have, because we don't have. It's really geared towards performances and not necessarily for our choral performances and our bands. And so that's just one, we've heard that universally at every single one, that can we just put the sound up, sound baffling.
So do know that as Ms. Zaresny talks about the 3 people that she's asked Mike for, it's to ask for a commitment of continuous involvement from some specific people, that it's a lot of work. There will be other people invited to a lot of the meetings that will happen, but this is the consistent core group that will help to be continuity all the way through all of the meetings.
And I think there's a feedback loop that we need to make sure we include. We're really good about asking for ideas. We really often forget to come back and say why we didn't pick some ideas. So everybody, when they give their ideas, they walk away thinking, oh, they're going to do that. No, we asked for your ideas. Didn't mean that we committed to them. So the feedback loop has to be very clear. We have to come back and say, look, we heard you all, but this is what we can do.
Debrief,
Yeah. So that, because that happens with every project. Well, what do you want to see? And then, well, we come back and we do it. And well, what happened to this? What happened to that? Well, we forgot to tell you we weren't going to do that. But so the feedback loop is needs to be improved. But this core group, I just want to clarify, this core group is going to be there from beginning to end, and they'll create the continuity for all those people that come in between. Okay, so that's what you really need them for.
And I think your policy helps. Your policy of when we're bringing items forward to you, and the frequency of community and public meetings, I think that'll help just the process altogether to feel heard and the buy-in from our community and the sites.
Thank you. Ms. Anderson.
Yes, I second that. I think that Mrs. Morania needs to be a huge piece of that as the drama teacher, and she's been there for years. I think it would be an oversight to not have her at every step. She is extremely professional. She knows what she's doing. She knows that the campus, I think I just want to restate, she really needs to be a part of every process. And then I also wanted to ask Tim, I know your background is as an architect. Would you share more about what your experience has been with this firm? Have you had experience with them before?
I have not
Have
worked
you-
with this particular firm. I'm very aware of their work from a lot of other work in the business, but they really are a
Premier.
But they really are a very top-flight design firm headquartered here in Los Angeles. The firm, if you went back in history, was a firm called, actually it's gone through numbers of names. Hardy Holtzman Pfeiffer is one of the names you would hear a lot. It's now shortened down to just Pfeiffer, but it's at least a 50-year-old firm, if not a 70 or 80-year-old firm, has done a lot of major civic projects. I'm sorry they don't come to mind for me here, but if you were to look at some of the major architecture of the Los Angeles community, you would see that firm's name
I Googled
associated
them,
with
and
them.
it's pretty
They did
impressive.
Chapman's. They did Chapman's. Chapman University.
Are there any things, if they haven't
go.
done K-12 education, that we need to be aware of, that we make sure that we share with them, with making
Yeah.
sure?
They have worked with K-12 level school projects, but it's not the backbone of their work. They have done K-12 school theater projects,
Right.
but they don't do classroom design generally. That's not their bread and butter type of project. So we've talked with them about how that process will work with the feedback. They really, among the firms that we interviewed, as they talked about the process of getting feedback from the curricular leaders in the area, we were very excited about that process for how they do that, and actually thinking that some of that is a reflection of practices that they use at the higher education level that we believe will be very advantageous at our level, because we're right underneath that higher education level when we're talking about a high school theater.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Bartow.
I wanted to just request that maybe I'm sure you guys have vetted them thoroughly. I just wanted to see if we could get a report maybe of how the people at Chapman, who were involved in the process, if we could reach out to them since they are so close. One thing I am concerned about, just because with higher education, especially a school like Chapman, if it comes in more expensive than initially projected, they have the ability to fundraise, where we don't. So I wanted to just make sure that we kind of close the loop on that one.
You know, honestly, I didn't plan on going quite down this road of discussion this evening about the fact that this is a firm that does very high quality design work. And so you saw that we selected them, and then we entered into a discussion with them and negotiation of their contract, both with regard to their fees for this project and for the cost of construction and keeping the project under budget. So the contract that you have, we've gone over that budget many times with them, their requirement to design to the budget, making very clear that we don't have the opportunity to miss this budget. And you know, I understand as well. We're right now in the process of putting together a pool project that unfortunately we know is a project that went over budget. So I'm very conscious of making sure that we have a team that understands how important it is to stick within our budgets. And so we've been over it with them extensively. I'm confident that they understand it, and I'm confident that Ms. Zaresny has the practices in place to keep them on track as we go. And I think we will have a very wonderful project. They were very exciting to interview.
The
It
best
was
theater
very
in the
exciting.
district.
It will be. Yes.
And then we'll be hearing.
the longest.
Not to put anyone else in a different position, but they really had the wow factor. They really came in. Their team was just so well versed in the programming, the project management. I felt like I had already worked with them on a project, so they're going to mesh very well with what we're used to doing. And I really do feel that they are going to adhere to all of our requirements. And because you have a small facilities team with a lot of experience in design and construction, it's not like we're just going to hand them off to someone else to manage our projects. We're well invested in this, and so we're going to have a great project. I'm really excited about working with them. Our team is really excited about
They've
working with them.
also done Cal State Fullerton, Chapman, USC.
Give this
Yes.
woman a
San Diego.
website.
I mean, give me this website.
You
This
will
is
say
like,
wow
oh
when
my
you look at their
God.
projects.
They're
It's
just
amazing.
unbelievable.
I have one comment. May we have a copy of your PowerPoint? Because I know Mrs. Snell and I have been asking for something like the design schedule for 4 years, so we're really pleased that there's one there. And not that we're gonna count the
It's
days.
in the contract. It's
But
the
I know,
same-
but that
same- yep.
PowerPoint is a nice page that we can just get an
Absolutely.
idea, so.
We could send it to you in the
I'll
Friday
write it to
update.
Sherry.
Friday
Yeah,
update, perfect. Anyway.
Absolutely.
I do want to, if you want to know about holding people accountable, some of you might remember our first AC projects when we suffered from an act of God.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knew this rain was coming, and it just poured through all those roofs that we had opened up. And with the contractors, I remember Ara was after the contractors to make sure they were sealed. And she didn't, this is how far she went. She told me this story, that she got up there with the hose to make sure.
Yeah.
She actually poured
We went and
water all
flooded
over.
We went and flooded the roofs after they said they were actually, watertight, and we're getting a hose. We're going to flood them and see.
And she got up on the roof with the hose, so, so that's what you have going for you.
Perfect. Any other discussion? All right, do we have a motion to approve the agreement with Pfeiffer Partners for architectural design services for the Estancia High School?
So move.
So moved.
Mrs. Snell, moved.
Second.
Yes, I did. I'd like to, if you would allow me to, I would like, I
that's
don't, I
fine.
never hardly move, but,
Well, I'm really glad you moved this one, and Mrs. Black seconded.
okay, good.
Did it.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Congratulations, all the hard
Yay,
work. Really
Estancia.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. That you had to work hard tonight.
We'll have to
just for
sneak
this.
in the back row of the meetings because it really does sound like it's going to be a unique
I just asked
project.
Tim to get us their proposal. So we can
Perfect.
Take a look at their,
So we can be wowed?
so we can be wowed.
Okay. All righty.
It's a public document, Val, at this point. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
17B, optional committees. Dr. Navarro.
Yes, so you all received a copy of the list of optional, well, as far, and current, and your mandatory required meetings, committees. Now it's time to look at the optional ones, and you can see that, I'm kind of lost here, 1 second, please. The last 2 pages are the optionals. We tried to put a description of them, but there are some nuances about these, so those board members that have served on these previously could respond to that, and so could staff if you wanted. But I just want to make sure it's important that you realize this is not an obligation for you to be a voting member on there or even a board rep. It's to be a participant because they would like somebody from the board there to participate with them,
So it's a
more like a
commitment.
partner.
It is a commitment.
Yes,
that we
it is a commitment, so you need to be there, but it's more as a partner than it is as a board member on this. And so, and then, of course, we always like the updates after the meetings, when you come and share what was discussed and what are the hot topics and what's moving forward. So I'm going to go through these one at a time, and let's start with the Newport Beach Youth Council. And traditionally, Mrs. Yelsey's been on that, but that's in the rec department. Is that correct?
Well, it is, but I just wanted to make a comment about that. It's changed somewhat this year. They've changed it to more of a mentorship program where the kids had to submit an application. They were interviewed to be involved because they want the students to have more of a commitment to the program instead of just being there once a month and
pizza.
and having pizza and getting credit for having done it. And unfortunately, they moved their their official meetings they have to our meeting dates.
Oh.
But I am going to be mentoring with them, so I still need to connect with Brace and Alexander, who's the head of that, and I'll work with him on that, assuming that I'm doing it. So.
Okay, so right now we only have Ms. Yelsey on the list. Is that okay with everybody if Ms. Yelsey works with that group?
Move to nominate and appoint Mrs. Yelsey to the Newport Beach City Council or the Newport Beach Youth Council.
Then if you need an alternate, then any of us are ready to help.
I need a second.
Second?
Black. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 7-0. Okay.
Okay, the next one is the Costa Mesa Chamber of Commerce Education Committee. This is a very involved committee. I know that Ms. Matoye sat on it.
Yes.
Maybe you can give them a better description of what goes on?
We meet, I would venture to say 6-7 times a year is about what we end up meeting. The committees had some great ideas for what they wanted to do at one point, but it is basically putting together the Les Miller Awards ceremony for outstanding honors for our high school graduates in Costa Mesa. So it would be Early College High School, Costa Mesa High School, and Estancia High School. And while we all know that Newport Harbor has...
Orange Coast College, too.
While we all know that Newport Harbor has Costa Mesa kids, Newport Harbor and Corona Del Mar have their own, so we don't double book them. And
Vanguard.
And Vanguard and Orange Coast College. So it is all of the above elementary, middle school entities that are in Costa Mesa. And it's interesting, it's fun, it's a time commitment, but it's flexible in that they keep their meetings scheduled regularly. We'll have to find out how well it does with Rose not on the committee anymore because she retired. Rose Quinn retired from the chamber. So Eileen Benjamin is the go-to woman. So I've enjoyed my time on, I still enjoy going to those meetings, and I probably am the most, Mrs. Snell and I were very consistent about attending.
And this year, Ms. Anderson would like to sit and be part of it with Ms. Matoye, so open.
I move to appoint,
Thank you.
not Michelle.
Ashley?
Oh, Ashley, I'm so sorry. I'm having people's name issue tonight. Ashley Anderson and Shar Matoye.
Okay, second?
Second.
Mrs. Fleur seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 7-0. Abstain? Okay.
Okay, Costa Mesa Youth Sports, great group to work with, except they all work, so you got to be there at 7:30 in the morning sharp, because they start right at 7:30.
You have to be there.
Yes, yes, but it's a great group. You are supported by staff at that meeting with Kirk there at the meeting, and then city staff also. Right now, I think it's Justin that comes.
Yes.
From the city of Costa Mesa. So it's really a support network for our youth sports organizations. They're really a fabulous group of individuals. These people volunteer for this. They put a lot of time, sweat, and their own money into the youth sports programs in our community. And really, all we try to do is keep the grass green and the fields mowed so that their kids can play. But believe me or not, with all the use it gets, that's a task.
Yes, it is.
This last year we had a couple of alternates. This year it's Ms. Matoye again and Mrs. Snell, who would like to be on the
I'm willing to be an alternative.
alternate.
Mrs. Blackburn?
And I would like to be on it, so. I went to my first meeting, actually, and I'd been to one years ago with Mrs. Franco, but everybody was very welcoming, and after the meeting was over, I was really thrilled because it was over before 8 o'clock. And
That's
everybody
very
said, welcome,
unusual.
Mrs. Black. It's the first time we've been out of here before 8, so.
Okay, so
Typically
we
from 7:30.
we have 3 that want to participate, 1 who will be an alternate, and Ms. Anderson will be the alternate. Let's make sure that if one of the 3 regulars aren't going to show up,
Are
they
you
let
still
Ms.
on it?
Yeah, I'm still on it. I don't know, we had three board members go. I don't know that it seems like overkill to have 3 board members go to this. So, because you're really the most important person that goes is Dr. Bauermeister, but it's nice. It
nice when
gives
all
the
three high schools are-
Excuse
It's nice
me?
when all three high schools are represented, though.
Yeah, that's what I was
guess.
going to say is
But
because.
I wasn't
Okay.
finished with what I was saying.
No, I
But
interrupted. I'm sorry.
what I was going to say is it's nice to be there for the all the volunteer coaches, so you know that it's important.
I can go and sit on this, I don't have to be in the
No,
on the
I was
table.
just-
I would like to just learn
No,
more.
no,
I
no.
learned a lot.
I was
so.
saying I have been on it, as you can see, since I got on the board. So maybe it's time for someone else to,
How about
be on it for a while.
How about you be the alternate?
I'm fine with that.
Ashley,
Okay.
I don't need to,
I mean,
I just only saw there were two and there was no alternate, so that's why I spoke up.
that's
I don't need to
probably
be
a better idea. I'll be an
I'll maybe do
alternate,
it
and
next
you, because it's nice. We all tend to want to do the same things we've been doing, but it's kind of nice to
don't.
let somebody else do it. And you don't.
No, I don't want to be
So
doing the
Ms.
same things.
Yeah.
I think it's
Anderson said she's
important
okay.
for you to see.
Yes, she is.
So
So-
let me just recap here,
Okay.
okay? The only thing we have to worry about is we don't have 4 of you there at any time.
Right.
So as long as there's 2 alternates and 2 regulars, then that's fine, but you all have to
Okay,
communicate
so I'm
with
going to
each other.
nominate Mrs. Metoyer and Mrs. Black as the members, and then Mrs. Snell and Miss Anderson as the alternates, because I think you volunteered to be an alternate, yeah.
I second
She
it.
doesn't
So
let
I'll
you get
call
off.
you if I can't
Okay.
do it.
Fleur,
That's great, more than line.
Mrs. Fleur nominated, Mrs. Yelsey seconded. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. You okay with that? You okay with that? We're good.
What, I'm second alternate? Is that what you said?
There's just 2 alternates.
Oh, I thought you,
I was just making sure since Mrs. Black is on there.
okay,
that we're good.
confused.
But that's good because we can call if, we can't be there.
Exactly.
I think it's good that every board member get an opportunity to go.
I do too. I think it's good. Every board member gets an opportunity to be on different things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All those in favor, oops, that's your job. No,
No,
that's my
that's your
job.
job.
All those in favor of
Aye.
opposed,
Whatever.
abstain. Mrs. Black, did you bump your
I
button?
said yes.
I know, did you
no.
bump your button or did you?
No, I did not.
Okay, thank you. Okay, your turn.
Okay, legislative rep. This is a homework item because you have to go out and seek out what's up on the legislature. We have some sources for you. Mostly, it's the best to be connected to the CSBA website. They have the best resources. But this year, Mrs. Bartow would like to be the legislative rep, and Ms. Ander would like to serve as alternate.
Excellent.
Move to approve?
Second. Oops, I can't time. Mrs. Yelsey nominated, Mrs. Fleur seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
You both have Judy Franco's number, so I always suggest that's a really good number to have.
Exactly.
Okay, the Arts Commission, that's a really nice committee. You learn so much when you go to these. Ms. Matoya and Ms. Fleur would like to be on the Art Commission.
I would like to I have never been on that before.
I'm perfect. There was only one name, so I put my name. If
Oh.
you'd like to have it.
I would love to do, I haven't done
I'll
that
go
one.
anyway, just to support Scott.
Yeah.
but-
So
We
you
can
wanna
have-
be an
we can have
alternate,
three.
then,
Yeah, just put me
Martha?
the alternate.
Okay, Ms. Fleur is the alternate, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
move that Charma Toye and Vicki Snell are the members for the Newport-Mesa Art Commission, and Martha Fleur is the alternate.
Excellent. Second,
Aye.
Mrs. Fleur. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I also meant you seconded. I just thought I'd let you know
Yeah, I
that
know
that
that.
meant you seconded it.
Okay,
This committee is defunct.
Yeah, this has not been a committee for 3 years. You didn't go last year, did you?
No,
So Mrs. Bartow, if you showed up, nobody'd be there.
They've actually changed it,
changed it
so the
to-
Chamber of Commerce has a mentorship program, and they invite high school students to their chamber mixers to meet with chamber members.
they're mentors.
Yeah.
I make a recommendation that we pull this off and
Yes.
once it gets.
okay,
to
so
that.
we're going to pull
Yeah,
the
I just put my
chamber.
name down because I go to their events anyway, so.
Okay, perfect.
And they do schedule their own scholarship events.
Presentations
Yeah,
and
that's their
things,
big,
yeah.
that's their big. All right, Newport-Mesa Schools Foundation. Ms. Anderson is already on the, on there, and Ms. Snell is, would like to also be a representative.
Yeah, and I'd like to be
Actually, I've been on it.
You've been on it, so we have two experiences.
No, Miss Anderson, and I don't know if she can continue to do this. She is actually a member of their board. I'm there as the advisor for the school board. So I don't know how that works.
I transitioned with them.
Oh, you did transition? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so we would both be there as representatives of, they call them advisors.
And I'd like to be the alternate. I'd like to be an alternate on that.
And Ms. Fleur would like to be an alternate?
I served at that position.
I know, they
before.
don't really like you, though. I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Okay, I move,
I'm going to be calling Scott Paulson about that. Thank you very much.
I move that Ashley Anderson and Vicki Snell are the members, Martha Fleur is the
Vicki doesn't want me
alternate.
on that committee.
No, I do. I called you to go for me, right?
Yes, I
Remember?
did.
Yeah.
Is there a second, Mrs. Snell? you want-
Second. I
Mrs.
don't know if I
Snell.
can second.
Mrs.
Second.
Yelsey, you want to second something when
I
it
will
comes up?
second it.
Okay. So Mrs. Yelsey will second it.
Oh, Mrs. Snell seconded it, it's okay.
Oh, okay, neither way.
Mrs. Black moved, Mrs. Snell seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Okay, we have a traffic jam on policy review team.
Oh,
We can only have 3 people at a
I think
time.
the policy review team has been wonderful as is.
I do too. That's why I'm going to nominate Ashley Anderson, Char Matoye, and Vicki Snell.
oh,
Well, while that would make our policy meetings go really fast, it doesn't solve the problem. I won't say, it doesn't solve the reason we
really going
made
after
this
me.
committee, which was that Martha has some of most of the comments. And
Okay.
so when we formed
Do
this
you want to be on
committee,
it?
I don't care.
it was the people
Well, we do.
that
We
had the
care.
most comments.
Mrs. Snell has the floor.
Okay, so Martha
Yeah.
has to be on it.
I mean, maybe you're going to have a lot of, you have to prove how many comments you have.
First of all,
Okay.
this is not a committee, it's a team.
It's a team.
It's a team.
Oh, it's
The
on a
other thing
committee.
is-
Yeah.
Okay.
That I
Well, technically-
brought up is we are often called or contacted. Hi, we need to meet, and it's going to be 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the day because that's when staff is there to be able to present why the policy is being redone.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And sometimes it gets carried over, so oftentimes it's short notice. And I just wanted to make sure that with somebody who has like a job that has to earn money, may not be able to give up.
Yeah, I'm willing to not be on it this year. I will make comments and prove that I'll be ready for it in the second year, because I will have a lot of comments. But I can do that in our board meeting,
If
so
I was
I'm
close,
fine
I'd
with
high
that.
five you. I've already served on.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe Ashley should be on it. I
will
agree with
also-
Mrs. Snell that it should be people who
Hold up
like
the
to get
process.
in the nitty-gritty and
You are
dot the
really
I,
mean to
dot
me.
the.
We're not being mean.
No,
We have an audience that will back
May
us.
how about if I make a recommendation? Ms. Anderson, would you be willing to serve as an alternate?
That would be great.
There we go.
Well,
Okay.
I have another one too, and this is because the president of boards are generally ex officio members.
This is true.
So, so technically, a president can attend any of the meetings as an ex officio member, and I don't know whether that still constitutes.
It does.
If it's a Brown Act, all that requires is that it be posted.
Yes.
Is
Yeah,
that
but-
not correct?
Yeah, but-
With an
Yes.
agenda? So it would be.
But we'd have to know 3 days in advance, and we don't always get 3 days.
I am very much okay with being an alternate.
Okay.
An alternate. No problem.
So,
actually okay with
Mrs.
being an
Fleur,
alternate,
do you, so Mrs. Snell or Mrs. Fleur, you guys
Well, maybe
both?
Ms. Matoye will be an alternate.
Well, she's
Depending on
president.
any one given moment. I mean, honestly, this came about because Mrs. Snell, Mrs. Matoye, and Mrs. Fleur had the most comments on every board policy that came forward. And so we thought maybe we shouldn't go on for 45 minutes on board policies in a board meeting.
Yeah.
When a lot of it was,
That's
you know,
good,
there's a.
that's good
there's a-
governance.
There's a period that needed to be
Thank
there, and
you.
this needed to be explained, and so we
But
can
do we
do
know
that.
how many there potential are, changes?
You know, it really is dependent on the new laws. It's dependent on our
quite a few.
needs. It's really, I can't tell you what that is. Sometimes we find board policies that haven't been reviewed in 10 years.
We're getting down to, I mean, I went through.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well. We're doing well, but I can't predict
Ms.
what it'll be
Anderson
like.
said she's just fine with being an alternate on
Okay,
any
so
given day. Any one
was
of
there
us
a
may not be
motion
able
for
to
that
make it.
then?
No, we need one. Would you
No,
like to make one?
So we have to put floor.
I move that Mrs. Fluor, Ms. Metoyer, Mrs. Snell, and Mrs. Anderson as the alternate.
I'll second that.
Okay, Mrs. Fleur nominated, Mrs. Black seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay.
Okay, the next one, Political Action Rep, Orange County School Boards Association. Mrs. Fleur, could you give a background on this?
Sure. Basically, before every Orange County School Board Association meeting, which there are 4 meetings, maybe 5, they have what's called the political action, and they'll bring a guest speaker, and it's a half hour before the dinner meeting. All board members are invited, so every board member can attend. But it's nice to make sure that there's always one member who will be there and then stay for the dinner speaker so that they can report back. Sometimes it's a legislative person, sometimes it's a lobbyist. It varies on who the
Other board
speaker is.
members,
or
too, which I
speakers. So it really can be every single person. It's just a question of committing to going to not only that meeting, but staying for the dinner, so it's,
Well, and wouldn't you say, Ms. Fleur, they always have really good speakers?
they always have great speakers,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
good.
Yes.
I
So
move Mrs.
we have 3 individuals that are interested, Ms. Anderson, Mrs. Bartow, and Ms. Metoyer.
I move Ms. Anderson, Mrs. Bartow, and Mrs. Metoyer
Serve as
serve as representatives.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, one
Okay, your
more.
last one, Ms. Anderson would like to be on the Wellness Advisory Committee.
I would as well. I don't know
Okay.
why I didn't.
This is the
have my
one with
name on
nutrition services.
that. Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Move that Mrs. Anderson and Mrs. Yelsey be appointed to the Wellness Committee.
I'll second that. Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Yay!
I do have one suggestion that is not on here.
Okay.
And that is, at our meeting, at our retreat, and when we did the training with CSBA, it was suggested that years ago, we did have a governance handbook, a school board governance handbook, and then you asked Michelle and I to work on it. I think it would be really smart to have a governance task force made up of 3 members of the board to look at the governance task force, look at our governance, maybe look at evaluation from a school, how we operate as a school board, provide that feedback, that interface with you, Dr. Navarro, in terms of governance and processes. So, like anything that would come up in terms of calendar, some of those things. And so I was just
So
making
my suggestion, if the board agrees, is for Mrs. Fleur and I to sit down, put something out in writing, so at the next meeting we can consider it, and
Yep.
it would be a task force of no more than 3 again.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's okay,
Sure.
Mrs. Fleur, if you can start putting something in writing,
Sure.
and then you and I can meet sometime?
Great.
Okay.
Cool. Alrighty, hold on, let me find my next thing. Community input on non-agenda items, Mrs. Black.
This is an opportunity for the public to address non-agenda topics within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board per Board Policy 9323. Each individual speaker will have 3 minutes. Speakers may not cede unused minutes to other speakers, and there is a maximum of 20 minutes of comments per topic. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public comments, depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to speak. In compliance with board policy in the Ralph M. Brown Act, the board is not permitted to take action on non-agenda items. When addressing the board, it is helpful if you state your name and address for the video record.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Dowdy.
I'm not connected to the, what is going on?
I just turned it off and used my hard copies.
But I like to write notes.
Good evening again. So I wanted to speak regarding a resolution that the board passed in December regarding the denial of the Hvac Charter School application. For members in the community that are not aware, they have appealed to the Orange County Department of Education. Tomorrow is the county board's meeting, and NMFT will be attending to ask the board to deny that appeal in support of your resolution. So I wanted to let the community know that that is happening. My understanding is the meeting begins at 10 a.m. There's a few items on their agenda, so we need to be there at the beginning of the meeting, and we may have to wait a little bit and then come back in. So members of the community that would like to join NMFT or other persons who would like to speak against the Hvac Charter School, we would happily invite them. If you would like a little bit of a primer on how to do, keep yourself limited to a 3-minute speech, I am happy to advise you in that regard. And you are welcome to come over for some morning refreshments at our office at about 9:15 in the morning, and then we can take a short field trip to the county office. We do have about 100 members who have signed a petition in support of your resolution that I plan to present to the board as well. We have a few speakers who are current employees, some who are retired employees, and I believe there may be some community members as well who would be speaking. So we hope to be able to use most of their 30 minutes of time allotted to speak against the petition.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Ms. Matoye. Good evening, everyone. You're doing a great job so far. Thank you. I'm very pleased to see the addition of the suicide prevention signage in the schools, and you're all to be commended for continuing to move this program forward. It's really, really great to see. So I have a couple of recommendations for you on the second generation of signs. This came up last year, and I think you all know this, but stigma is the #1 barrier to treatment. It's far and away number one. If 1 through 10, it would be one. If a list of 1 through 10 would be 1 through 9. So in the second generation of signs, I want to recommend that you add the word confidential prominently there. Maybe instead of just suicide prevention, say confidential suicide prevention. That's #1. And because I'm a marketing guy, I can't help but also recommend that somehow you try and track the responses. Maybe each school could have a dedicated contact number, so you can determine, for example, if in a given month, Estancia has 2 calls versus Newport Harbor, who's got 20, you might be better able to allocate resources that way. So just a couple of things for tracking and for what it's worth. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry,
Dr. Jocham, would you like to speak to that?
I'm sorry, President Matoye. I
That's
just
okay.
wanted to
That works.
thank you for those comments, and then let you know that also within this year, by next January, there is a state requirement that all student ID badges have the suicide prevention hotline number on them. And so we can work on making sure that those also include confidential on those. So we'll do that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Good input. Nathan Searly.
Hi there. Thank you for having me. My name is Nathan Searcy. I'm a field.
sorry.
Oh, no worries. I'm a field representative that I work for Assemblywoman Cotty Petrie Norris, who represents Newport Beach and Costa Mesa. So we just wanted to be here, introduce ourselves, let everybody know that's here. If you guys have any questions or concerns for the state office, feel free to reach out. I have business cards here that I can pass out to whoever's interested. I also have certificates of recognition for every board member. We just wanted to recognize all of you for all of your great work in this community. So thank you so much for all of that. Can I hand these to you guys?
It'll work its way up. Thank you very much.
And we'd love her to come and visit our schools.
Yes, she absolutely will when she has some more time.
She's just getting settled.
Yes, just getting settled.
Tell her congratulations on our
We will,
behalf.
yeah, thank you so much. And if you guys have any specific events you'd like her to be at or us to be at, she's usually back Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So let us know.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Searcy. Sorry, that LNC. It is tough.
Put them in order.
I know, wow.
I'm impressed.
Well,
Okay.
unfortunately, we've had him sitting here for
Not
6
bad.
o'clock.
If I could, real quick,
yes.
Mr. Searcy is a former student in Newport Mesa and an outstanding one at that.
See, another local boy done good? Yeah.
What school?
Yeah, okay, now,
What high school?
Mr. Searcy?
Oh,
Newport Heights Elementary.
What's your Newport Mesa pedigree? Mr. Kelly for science, yes.
I went to Heights and
Where's your first?
Perfect.
know Dr. Sir as well, so I'm a product of the system.
Oh, thank you. We'd love to see that. Yay.
Eagle Scout project at our school.
Oh, and he's an Eagle Scout. See there? All righty.
Good job.
Board member reports, and something we discussed for the public, something we discussed in our governance session was that our board reports, we're going to try our very best to limit it also to 3 minutes. So in order to empathize, we're going to do our best. So.
Oh, these are committee reports. Not committee reports.
It's
These are
not
just-
committee reports, it's just board member reports. Mrs. Fleur, would you like to start?
No, no report.
No report. She did it.
Welcome back.
3 minutes. Mrs. Black.
Happy New Year, and
Move your mic.
welcome back. And I just want to
Move your mic.
My mic's right here.
Thank you.
Can't hear me?
No.
Okay. Estancia High School's their HOSA program, and it's a fundraising night, and the wonderful people over at Newport Rib is sponsoring I'm looking for the date here, on Monday, which is Martin Luther King Day, so we won't be in school in session, but from 10 a.m. to 9:30, or you can dine in from 4 to 9:30, and they will donate 20% of your bill to the HOSA program. And the reason this is really so important, this is our medical, it's the International Student Leadership Organization, but it's part of health, occupation, and we think it's student association. So our students have been going and participating through CTE support, and are Mr. Yuki has been pretty much single-handedly doing this, finding the funds, doing everything, and everything. I mean, and he's so dedicated, and he also has a full-time schedule. He's an EMT and works full-time. But the costs are going up to compete, and last year they had 45 students. We came back with tons of awards and actually gold medals. But it's $450 per student just for the food for them to present, and for each one of the participants. And so we're trying to give the students an opportunity of how to raise funds. So this is, I don't know if it's on their site, but Newport Rib says www.ribcompany.com. You can go there and hopefully they'll show it, but they need to have the flyer. So can I post this somewhere, or can we do that, or I don't know?
I believe that's something I can ask Adriana to look at and see if we can put it through our electronic posting system.
Right, because they're just now, it's PTA knows about it, but it's not really being pushed out, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
So if we could just.
I will send this down to you.
Yeah.
How about that, Mrs. Flora? And then we just really need to support them, because these kids, so unfortunately, they're not going to be able to send that many kids, to compete. No, ROP is fantastic.
They send
but-
they send a group.
but it's very expensive.
Yep.
So they need to do that. And then I also went to the Costa Mesa, my first meeting, which I told you was over in 25 minutes. And those were my kind of meetings, even though it was at 7:30 in the morning, and you needed to actually be there at 7:20 in the morning. And bring your own coffee. And so I look forward to it, because I have never, even though I was Costa Mesa, now I'm actually a Newport Beach resident. So in all my 20 years, Mr. Brooks and Mrs. Sneen and Mrs. Snell, and so there's never been a time for me to be on the board. So so I'm just, I know, I would like to learn about it. So I'm appreciative of that. And if you have more comments, I will let you. But it was pretty much just everybody checking in.
Perfect. Mrs. Yelsey.
Yeah, just a couple things. One, tomorrow evening at the Newport Academy on Pullman Street, David Sheff is speaking, and he is the real-life dad who was played by Steve Carell in A Beautiful Boy. And he's talking about his experience of a parent of a struggling teen. So I would imagine, I mean, he does this a lot. I imagine it would be good, but it's at 7 o'clock at Newport Academy. That's 3189 Pullman Street, just over here. Anybody that's interested. And then one other thing I was at the CDM PTA last week, and John Emmy, who is a teacher there, longtime teacher, retired baseball coach, and now that he's not baseball coaching, he has more time. He did a presentation to the parents on human sexuality and interpersonal relationships, and he was focusing mainly on helping kids as they leave high school to cope in their life after school. And he teaches human sexuality at the school. And he even said that some girls who have graduated from his program and are in college now have contacted him and said some of the information they learned in his program, in their course, they've had to use at school, whether it was helping someone who was sexually assaulted or whatever it was. So he wants to do a program that all high school seniors probably and their parents would be invited to. And he wanted to just show it to the parents, who were very enthusiastic, even though it's difficult material to go through, but they felt it was very important for their kids to know. So he is going to be doing that at Corona Del Mar. I sent a presentation to Dr. Navarro and the ed staff because I thought it maybe is something, I know he'd be willing to do it at the other high schools as well. And I think it's a really relevant subject, even though it's tough, that may be good for them.
That might be good for one of the PTA parent meetings.
That's it.
Okay, Mrs. Bartow.
Hi. I don't have a big report. I attended the Newport Harbor High holiday concert and was really impressed. And my husband and I used it as a date night, and I was joking that he was going to have to take me on a better date than that. But it was so good that it was a really great experience. And the jazz band was fantastic in particular, and it was just a really lovely program. And then I think they performed later at the Snoopy House in front of Costa Mesa City Hall. My husband took my kids to see that, and they had a really great time doing that as well.
Yeah, I don't have a lot either. I was realizing we didn't get a chance to share about Christmas and holiday celebrations that happened the week after we had our last meeting. I went to Ray's performance. The entire NPR was packed out. There's parents standing in the back. It was amazing. And the PTA parents put on all the refreshments. So that was a great fundraiser. The PTA at Pomona hosted over 100 families came. It was it was one of their new PTA president's first events, so it was great to see her in action. And then I went to Wilson, had a holiday festival, and Bob Kelly was Santa. I didn't even recognize him at first. It's amazing. He sat there the whole time. And then in Victoria, I was just in awe. Bridget and Nick do an amazing job with music, and so to have I got to sit in the very front row. It was really wonderful to see all of the kids up close. They were amazing. They did handbells. It was, really, really remarkable. And then also at Whittier, they had an amazing strings band, and that was also packed out. They have to stagger it on 2 different days. So they had the early elementary one day. So I was just really impressed to see the outstanding music leaders, but also how many parents were involved. I think sometimes we think some of the parents aren't as involved, and they were packed out, but all of these Christmas event and holiday events. So
Good. Yeah, they were good.
Mrs. Snell.
Okay, speaking of Mr. Yuki, he's also very involved with the Costa Mesa Sister City Australian Exchange Program, which it's a partnership between Estancia High School and Hoppers Crossing School in Wyndham. It is supported in part by the city of Costa Mesa, which is really wonderful. I was able to host for the 8th year in a row the welcome lunch, and Mr. Yuki was there and spoke, and we met all the delegates. They're really just exciting kids, and you get a chance to meet them on January 23rd. They will also be they do a short presentation for us, but they'll be doing their full presentation at Estancia High School's PTA meeting, which is the 28th of January at 7 p.m. And it's really a professional presentation. They put a lot of work into it. It was interesting, one of the chaperones this year was a delegate in 2011, and she is now a teacher at Hopper's Crossing.
Oh my gosh.
So that was great. Also, on February 5th, it used to be called Mesa Verde Homeowners. Now it's called Mesa Verde Community Inc. It's a group that does beautification in Mesa Verde. They are going to be hosting a get to know your local principal. So we've invited the Adams principal, California principal, T. Winkle, and Estancia. And Ms. Batoye will be there as well, and myself. And we're just going to give them a little preview of the things we're doing in our schools, because we haven't done that for a while, and answer some questions. So that is on February 5th at the Methodist Church. And on January 21st, before you go to Newport Ribs, there is a Costa Mesa United. As you all know, they really support our sports teams with giving funding for different things that we do on our fields. And so they are having a fundraiser. Last year they raised tons of money. It's a golf tournament at Mesa Verde, and Dr. Baumeister always plays in it. You don't imbibe on all the holes though, right? Okay. It's by the end of the day, it's pretty funny because yes, every hole has, and the theme, have you heard the theme this year is Caddyshack, so I don't even know what's going to happen. But there's a lot of people in the community that are kind enough to participate and give food and give prizes, and so it's probably too late for you to get a ticket, but I got one, so.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. Actually, we're volunteering. We're not playing.
No.
So, but a big thank you to Costa Mesa United. They're also the people that do the Costa Mesa United Youth Sports. They're the ones that run that meeting. So,
Fabulous group.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
2 minutes and no.
No, we were pretty good. Most of us were pretty good.
Were you timing?
I was, just to get an idea,
good.
just to see if we could do it.
But now she's up.
But now I'm up, so.
Collected all of the extra time.
So hold on, yeah. Oh, is it the group thing we could do that? That
Yeah.
would be great. I actually went to several performances over the holidays, and I smile at every one of them. I went to some primaries, some upper grades, some like Costa Mesa's Songs of Silence, which combined with Davis, and it's so heartening to see the fruits of our performing arts programs, and the fact that we have them, and they're so strong, and we've never let them go. I was also able to, and Mrs. Snell and I went to the Costa Mesa High School engineering Christmas door celebration, door decorating. And basically what it was a stealth project where the students had to design, using their coding and programs, a door with a theme. And there were little tiny plastic things that they put into the 3D printers, so they had to design all that part. And then afterwards, they were magnetized and they became magnets that they could use on the refrigerator, because we don't have enough refrigerator magnets. But what I liked about it is it was so much fun. They had, and I didn't realize anybody who went to see them had to vote on them. And the teamwork that came out of it was just fabulous. And some of the creativity was hysterical. And the artistic talent was wonderful, and we really enjoyed that. So, and basically, I was grateful to have 2 weeks of winter break, that no major crises till a little bit of rain at the end, and other than that, it was just a wonderful blessing to have some extra time. Board committee reports, we did have Costa Mesa Youth Sports Council, but it was an interesting, we got to meet some new people. did you want to report out, Mrs.
No,
Black?
I don't need to report.
Kind of, yeah, it was,
Wouldn't know what to report on.
and,
It was short and sweet.
and basically what was discussed was we were waiting, we discussed back and forth, where is the Kaiser Davis Light program? Is it in the city or is it back with us? And we discussed that, and I believe it's with them. It's with us. It's with us now, and we're so great, we're so looking forward to when we can get together and say, yes, let's go. And other than that, it's always about whether the grass is green. When it's rainy, oh my gosh, we can't play on the grass. And when it's not rainy, oh my gosh, the ground's too hard and the grass is dying. So until we get that perfect climate, until we can bubble Costa Mesa and have the perfect climate to grow playing fields, we'll be in good shape. Schools Foundation, did we, Ms. Anderson?
Yes, our Schools Foundation meeting, we have the annual banquet on February 7th to honor the Teacher of the Year and also the Teachers of the Year, and also award the grants for the teachers that applied. And this year, the Schools Foundation is going to be putting up signs in all the teachers' lounges earlier, like in May, so teachers can fill them out over the summer.
Oh, what a
and
good
so we can
idea.
apply for, we'll hopefully have more people applying for grants, because this year it was a little bit lower, so hopefully we'll get more again.
I just got an add-on to that. I wasn't at the last meeting, but the one before, and I read the minutes too, that they are giving out over 100,000 in grants. And they're giving out 117 grants. That is
Wow.
amazing. And it's at a new location this year, so those of you that go, don't go to the other place, because we're on remote and we go to the Turnip Rose. It's at the Rose Cafe on the Promenade, which is near SoCo. And if you come at 5 o'clock, you can spend money on all the gift baskets. And also, don't forget to join, right? So if you haven't joined this year, don't forget to join. Send in your money.
Or do you mean sign up for the,
Join the foundation.
oh,
I thought we were signed up.
Well, you're supposed to.
You're signed up for the dinner.
Join. Yeah, we do the dinner, but you're not supposed to. They'd like you to join every year.
Foundation.
Yeah. The
After the
general.
breakfast,
Yeah.
You know.
You didn't know that?
I don't think I've ever joined. I've donated a lot, but I don't think I've.
Well, I think when you donate, that's joining.
Okay, that works. Okay.
Yeah.
And I do have a report.
Newport Beach tonight. Oh, that's right. They changed everything to tonight, so that's a bummer.
For
And
me too.
crop.
Did I
Mrs.
join?
Fluor.
Yeah, our meeting was canceled for this month, but I do have a couple of things to talk about. One is that, as you know, as I've mentioned before, we've contracted with school services to do an evaluation of our funding sources and how to look at we're a joint JPA, and so they're looking, we figured that we couldn't do it internally. It would be too difficult to come up with something, so they're doing it. They've already had one meeting, and my understanding is with all of the superintendents, and Jeff, they've met with you, correct?
He was there too.
And so we're looking forward to seeing that. Our chief business financial person, Lynn Simons, retired. And so we are without we have somebody that we've contracted with, but we're looking for a full-time employee. And of course, that's really a difficult position to fill. And then our program is moving forward, and we're offering lots of courses, and Mr. Yuki is one of our top teachers, and so we're just hanging in there.
Excellent. Informal reports. Dr. Navarro.
Yes. So you were reminded that we're nearing the end of the first semester when Alex and Isaac talked about preparing for finals. For administrators, that means we're starting to prep for the start of next year. So over the winter break, I was communicating with staff about, preparing for the coming year. I know HR and business are looking at, what are our staffing needs, where are we having growth, where are we having decline in enrollment. So we're starting now. And pretty soon, high schools and middle schools will be surveying students for electives for the coming year, and so there's a lot that's going in, so this is a busy, for administrators, this is the busiest time of the year, because not only are we still working on the current year, we're doing double duty and preparing to open for the coming year. And so just know that a lot of information will be coming your way, and that we will soon be meeting to ask the board to make sure we set direction, and that we give our schools an indication of where we need to focus our resources for the coming year. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Mrs. Olson?
Yes, good evening. And Happy New Year, I think we're supposed to say, though it seems so long ago. There was an Ed Code change that I wanted to familiarize you with, and that is effective January 1. Our playground supervisors, so for our district, those are our noon duty aides, or noon duty supervision, are now in our classified service. And so to assist with that transition, we've changed the name. So if you're asked about a student I have to get it right, student supervision assistant, that is what we're referring to. And so over the last few months, HR, working with Ed Services and Business Division, has been working on making this transition, because as you may be familiar, our noon duty supervisors worked varying hours, 10 minutes here, 30 minutes here, an hour and a half there, and to meet the school needs. So we had to work with them in order to come up with schedules, because now these are actual positions within the classified service. So I do want to thank and commend Kristen Clark and Megan Brown, who it truly was a team effort for us as an HR department to make the move and the shift, along with working with the business department. So that's a big change for us. It involves approximately 150 folks now moving from an unclassified position to a classified position.
And knowing us, they'll be called SSAs really soon.
I think we already are
Yes.
doing it, yes.
Mr. Holcomb?
Two quick things. One is just to put in perspective that the projects that we have coming up this summer would equal what many districts do in a bond program, very aggressive districts in a bond program do. And those HVAC projects just in the summer alone, rather than throughout the whole year, that's a lot of money going in place at one time. And I say that, I know you know, but for our public to understand the amount of work that goes into meeting the commitments and these high expectations you have set for us to do a lot of improvements at our schools, including the air conditioning projects and, of course, the sports fields projects at CDM, the new pool at Estancia, managing the design of a new theater project. Mrs. Zaresny and her team have been working very diligently. And at the same time, as you know, going to my second item, we have been without a maintenance director. Our managers have stepped up to fill that need very capably over these last 4 months, and I thank them for their hard work in that. But we're all very grateful that we will have a new director starting the Monday after next on the 28th. He comes to us with a great resume, and look forward to introducing him to you, hopefully at the next meeting. And I think that already a communication has gone out to everyone, but we're very excited to be back up to a good level of staffing there. Thank you.
Excellent.
Well, the governor's budget came out in January, and it is mostly good news, and it's helpful because there is good news for us, and you have ambitious plans going on the out years, and that causes a lot of pressure. But just the Cal STRS contribution he made will help us in the out years by about $1.3 million. So that's great news for us.
Thank you. Dr. Sir.
Yeah, just a quick update regarding the Newport-Mesa Arts Commission. Our next meeting is February 8th from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock at Orange County Music and Dance in Irvine. And if you haven't already received them, we'll get the invites out to you. Just a really wonderful opportunity for the district, with Scott Fitzpatrick at the head of it, to help push forward both the celebration of all of our community partners, along with really working on moving the strategic plan for Newport-Mesa's arts program forward. So it's a great day, and Scott does a fantastic job with that.
Thank you. Dr. No.
So it is official that as of today, we are halfway through our secondary history social studies adoption process. Today, our teachers, after spending 6 to 8 weeks in their first round of materials and gathering evidence, spent the day together really collaborating around the evidence, calibrating that evidence, and then ultimately evaluating the 8 domains of alignment. While I was part of all of that, it was definitely a team effort. The amount of work the teachers have put into this and the commitment really is incredible, and what drives the process and the learning behind it, so that implementation of these materials is also aligned with the standards that they're expected to meet. In the background at the same time, I also need to just give a little shout out to our warehouse, because as we're doing this, all the new materials for these 5 different grade levels are coming in, and they're getting those out for that second round of the process. But just incredible work going on in making sure that the tools we're using are the right ones and that they're aligned.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to provide 2 additional pieces of information to what I reported earlier about our VAPA grant under Title IV. The question was posed of the districts, and I couldn't remember the last one. The last one is Magnolia. Okay, so that's all.
Little
9.
district.
Yeah, Little Magnolia.
Cool.
Yeah, and then
must be really
the other thing I failed to mention is the name of this project. Is called OC All Kids, and it's all caps. And it is one of the most amazing acronyms I've ever seen in education. So I'm going to share this with you because I think that alone is worth $1.4 million. And it stands for, so All Kids, OC All Kids, it's Orange County Arts, Learning, Literacy, and Knowledge by Instructional Delivery Systems.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Really work.
OC All Kids Project. So when you hear that, I want you to make the connection that it's the VAPA grant that I had mentioned.
I was having a hard time with HOSA.
Well, how do you top that, right? I wanted to let you know that at our next board meeting, we're going to introduce you to our new SRO at Costa Mesa. So you may know that Officer Torres went back to being a motor cop, and actually we saw him. We had an accident right out here on Baker Bear, and he was one of the first responders, so we got to see him there. But we'll introduce the new SRO to you at the next board meeting. And then for the board and also for the community, we have an upcoming training entitled Social Media, Gaming Disorder, and FOMO. And FOMO means fear of missing out. And that's what kids, why they're on their phones all the time, because they don't want to miss out on anything that's going on. And this is part of our community advisory committee, but it really is for all kids, all adolescents, and they want to look at the relationships between addiction, technology, and social media, and how parents can help their teenagers have a healthier relationship with social media and the use of technology. And it's going to be, we try and do 2 presentations. So we have next Wednesday, the 23rd, 9 to 11 a.m., and this is at the Harper Assessment Center in the multipurpose room. And then we have an evening on Thursday, January the 24th, from 6 to 8 at Harper as well. We have Spanish translation, and in the evening we have childcare. And I think last time they had over 20 kids, for the childcare. So we're thinking it's not just for special ed, it's really for a lot of parents. So we hope to see people there.
Is that something that maybe we could expand as the year goes on? Because I know I'm seeing it a lot starting in 4th and 5th grade.
You mean expand the age that they're talking about? Yeah, we can talk to them.
As an elementary program separately.
Sure.
Is there any way that we can, because I think these are fabulous programs, is there any way that we can videotape them? Do we have the capabilities? I mean, certainly we
I'd like
have
the PTA
lots
to
of
videotape too.
filmed kids that are doing film and doing some of those projects that we can't utilize our own students in some of these projects.
I had
And get these filmed so that they can be put on our website, so parents have that ability to access them. I just wish that we, and I don't think they have to be, I don't think they have to be professional, really professional. Yes, I know that they have to be translated, but we're gonna have the translator there. I just think that it would be so fabulous to be able to, parents to be able to have that ability to watch them at midnight when they're FOMOing.
But they're presenters, we have to get permission from the presenters, and that was, the issue that came up. And, because I've had
Right.
requests for our PTA workshops you're doing,
too bad that
because
we
they're
just
really
can't.
loving it, and then time commitments, they're not able to get to every meeting, but they just have gotten so much benefit from it. Really good feedback.
And I just want to remind you of two things. We have to be careful of our students because they have to have a media release on file with us.
Yes.
And there are students who cannot be photographed or videotaped because of.
But they're not in that meeting, right?
The kids
No,
are.
this
The
is,
kids
this
are
is
not.
a
So we-
meeting for parents, but, sometimes parents ask questions about their student and they, so, I just think it's a bigger conversation. But I do know that the presenters have to give their authorization, and then we would just have to figure out how that would work.
And on top of that, once we put it on our website, it has to be ADA accessible. So we have to close caption it and translate it, which takes another 2 weeks.
But the last presentation we had, he offered that, and he gave his
I think it's
website.
so
and
great.
So we were able to get it, and, with his permission, with our presenter's permission, so maybe just work with them on it.
Bigger conversation. Exactly. Anyone have anything else for the good of the cause?
We're gonna schedule another meeting?
We're
is
going to
it?
schedule another meeting, or do you want to meet now?
Schedule
Now?
Schedule a meeting.
I thought you said
I
earlier was-
did say
You keep
that,
trying.
but then I'm having people nodding.
Schedule.
It's 8:20. Thumbs up if you want to do it right now.
How long is it gonna be?
It's going to be longer than 5 minutes.
So that,
Okay.
another-
Going
Then I
to be,
guess
could be
we'll have-
30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Okay, another meeting will be scheduled. Okay, in that case, I need a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Mrs. Black and Mrs. Yelsey, you can make one motion in 1 second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yay. Thank you.